media has warned. The Global Times newspaper, a mouthpiece for China's communist rulers, issued the threat after U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan vowed that Washington would never allow a Chinese invasion to take place. Such threats are not credible because the U.S. cannot afford the cost of defending Taiwan, the newspaper said, urging Sullivan to shut his big mouth and avoid creating more embarrassment for your country. As if to underline the threat, China on Friday sent 13 warplanes to menace Taiwan's airspace, including 8 fighters and 2 nuclear-capable bombers. Taipei said the sortie included 6 J-16 fighters, 2 J-10 fighters, 2 H-6 bombers, 1 Y-8 spy plane, 1 Y-8 anti-submarine plane, 1 KJ-500 spy plane. The fighters, anti-submarine aircraft, and KJ-500 plane all made a short incursion into Taiwan's Air Defense ID Differentiation Zone, ADIZ, on Friday, the Defense Ministry said. Taiwan requires all aircraft flying into its ADIZ to identify themselves and state their intentions. The zone is different from the country's territorial airspace. The bombers and the Y-8 spy plane flew a much longer route, around the southern end of the island and onto its eastern side before turning around. It has been the largest mission since November 28, when 27 aircraft flew a similar route. China typically flies one such mission per day for months, which Taiwan's government says amounts to harassment. Nobody believes the U.S. has the true will to defend Taiwan at all costs, the Global Times wrote, adding that, the U.S. is far away from defending Taiwan, at the cost of a deadly war. Washington may believe that sending U.S. troops to the island is a deterrent, the editorial added, but they would find themselves under attack. The U.S. mainly provides military support to Taiwan by selling weapons. Those weapons are generally destined to be destroyed by the People's Liberation Army as soon as the reunification by force takes place, the newspaper said. It is credible that the PLA will heavily attack U.S. troops who come to Taiwan's rescue. Such credibility is increasingly overwhelming the deterrence that U.S. troops have. To truly avoid a Chinese invasion of Taiwan, the state-backed newspaper said, the U.S. should encourage Taiwan's government to engage in diplomacy. If the U.S. continues to regard the Taiwan island as a pawn to contain the Chinese mainland and send wrong signals to the government, then the situation will keep on worsening, it says. Resolving the Taiwan question by force will become the inevitable and only choice for the Chinese mainland. Taiwan is home to the People's Republic of China, the mainland's old rulers deposed by the 1946 revolution, which brought the Communist Party to power. Tensions between the island and the mainland have been simmering for decades but ramped up when the nationalist DPP party won elections there in 2016. Xi Jinping then vowed to reunify the island, by force if necessary, in a speech in 2019, and ever since, the situation has been threatening to boil over into conflict. America is a long-standing ally of Taiwan's rulers and is legally bound to provide the island with weapons to defend itself due to treaties passed in the 1970s. Officially, the U.S. has a policy of strategic ambiguity towards the island, refusing to say what it would do in the event of a Chinese attack. But Biden has said in interviews that he would send U.S. forces to defend the island if attacked, though aides later insisted he had misspoken. In recent months, China has been menacing the island with show-of-force aerial drills close to its airspace, sometimes involving dozens of fighter jets, bombers, spy aircraft, and refueling planes. In response, the U.S. has been forging new alliances with powers in the region, including India, Australia, and Japan, to counterbalance the pressure from Beijing. China is also on diplomatic maneuvers, with Nicaragua on Friday announcing that it will officially break off diplomatic relations with Taiwan and recognize the government in Beijing instead.